Tonight on Alaska's News Source, weather in southeast Alaska is keeping people on their toes. Details on the rain and landslide concerns.
And the fall equinox starts tomorrow, kicking off the work week with a new season and more wet conditions.
Student assessments in Fairbanks show growth. Details from the superintendent.
You're watching Alaska's News Source.
Heavy rain and wind are causing concerns in southeast Alaska this weekend. Wrangell yesterday issued a public service announcement about increased landslide risk. And in Juneau, the city and borough is asking people to remain safe as heavy rainfall continues to pour, causing flooding and landslide concerns. Small landslides were reported in the Auk Lake area yesterday. There's elevated water around Montana Creek. These photos show the mark the weather conditions are leaving. The city and borough has its incident management team on standby and reached out to the Red Cross, but no evacuation orders have been sent out as of this afternoon. But leaders are monitoring the situation.
And while we have not officially requested that they open up an emergency shelter, they are on standby and prepared to do that very quickly should there be a need for anyone to evacuate their homes.
And in Ketchikan, the city reopened 3rd Avenue Bypass Road yesterday after heavy rain caused flash flooding recently. The town saw a deadly landslide about a year ago in the area of the bypass. Now the city is continuing to monitor the situation as heavy winds are expected to swing into the region overnight. The city of Ketchikan fire chief says the combo can be a dangerous mixture.
So you have already saturated ground. The wind could start to move those trees over and allow the footing and the ground to become loose and allow a landslide to potentially happen.
Bailey, you mentioned more wet weather conditions are on the way. What can we expect for the start of the fall season?
Yeah, well, you know, fall is the rainiest season, and that's exactly what we're expecting to see kicking off this work week tomorrow. So we're going to continue to see those wet conditions in southeast. And if you'll notice, there's over an inch to 2 inches of rain for southeast, and that's pretty much just for Monday. So southeast is going to get quite a bit of rain tomorrow, followed by some pretty strong winds as well. I'll be talking about that more in the full weather, but yeah, lots of wet conditions moving into southeast, and then we're going to start to dry off just a little bit for south central, but we're still going to continue to get some scattered showers, but not nearly as much as what we saw today. But then some of those showers are also moving into the interior. So it is rainy season, and we can really feel that outside. Now, with our day planner, checking out our Monday, we're going to have those scattered showers moving on through, and most of that rain is going to come in the morning. But of course, you're going to notice that those temperatures are still staying relatively cool. At 53 degrees is our high. So we are going to be cooler than what we saw this weekend in the low 50s. And we're just going to keep getting cooler since we're progressing through the season. But just looking at our skycast, you can see those light scattered showers through the morning and then just mostly dry conditions by the afternoon. So that's exactly what we can expect to see for tomorrow. And statewide, we're seeing those cloudy conditions moving on through, but heavier rain is moving into southeast. And that's the biggest takeaway. Now, Michaela, with our Brain and Brawn fun fact, it is fall related, of course, because you know me. And my fun fact is that the process of which leaves start to die off and you get those autumn colors, there's a name for it, and it's called fall senescence. So that's what it is. Leaf senescence, fall senescence, that's the process of the leaves dying out.
It sounds like a little bit of a mouthful.
It is, yeah, definitely.
Thank you, Bailey. Test results are showing meaningful growth across the Fairbanks School District. That's according to the superintendent, Luke Minert, who reported better testing scores at Tuesday's meeting of the local school board. While details were sparse, Alaska has released the results of spring testing. Minert says the district is seeing gains in math and reading for a second year in a row.
Fewer students needing intensive support and more students are meeting grade level expectations. These gains reflect the commitment of our educators and the perseverance of our students and the ongoing engagement of our families. And so thank you to those families that talk with their students about the importance of these exams.
That was part of what the superintendent had to say earlier this week at the school board meeting. More details on the results are expected at the October 7th meeting. The superintendent's office has declined a one-on-one interview with Alaska's News Source at this time. Alaska State Troopers have released the name of an officer who shot at a suspect in Kiana earlier this week. He has been identified as Northwest Arctic Borough VPSO Henry Martinez, according to troopers. Officer Martinez has been a VPSO for 5 years. Jaden Westlake, who troopers say Officer Martinez shot at, has now been charged with assault. We have more details on the situation on our website. And in Glendale, Arizona, a memorial service for Charlie Kirk today. As Jay Gray reports, President Trump and many other prominent conservatives were among the speakers at the event honoring the political activist.
Good evening. And part church service, part political rally. More than 60,000 filling the NFL stadium just behind us. Thousands more in an arena across the street gathering to remember Charlie Kirk. Friends, colleagues from Turning Point USA, the conservative organization he co-founded, honoring Kirk as a martyr and a mentor 11 days after he was assassinated during an event at Utah Valley University. 2 jets carrying dozens from the White House to the memorial, several high-level cabinet dignitaries, secretaries, and directors, along with President Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance, taking to the stage to eulogize the influencer and activist Kirk, leaving behind 2 young children and his wife Erica, who just days ago was unanimously elected by the board to take the place of her husband as the CEO of Turning Point, and she has promised that his message and outreach will grow in his passing. That's the latest from here in Glendale, Arizona. I'm Jay Gray, NBC News.
Thanks for listening. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcast from Alaska's news source automatically. And stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.